Hi, Lauren Weedman.
Hello, Hollis. How are you?
I'm good. My hello sounded. I'm excited. So it sounded.
You
It
think
was
it
just.
sounded fake? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, it was like a little
Yeah.
like Lauren Weedman. But I am. I'm super excited that you're here.
Me too. I'm excited I had a purpose today. Not that I don't have
Good.
to pick up stuff, or like run errands or whatever. I'm taking care of my household, I swear.
You
But
are. You're a mother, so you have a purpose, whether you like it or not.
oh shit. Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Right? It keeps us
Totally.
going. I'm so excited. Is your hair short or pulled back?
Pulled back. And thanks for asking. Oh, it's going to get kind of deep kind of quick. All right. Well, I thought I wanted to know. Yeah, no, it's pulled back. Though I don't know why I even now I feel self-conscious too, where I'm like, I don't like, I shouldn't talk about my hair too much. It makes it seem like I really am invested, but of course I'm invested.
I'm invested.
It's your hair, but
Yeah.
I've never hardly ever wear it down. I always, and so what's the point of it? I might as
Yeah.
well cut it so it looks like that. But I've also been shamed into not having, it's not the reason why I did it, but I got pushback when I cut my hair off during COVID.
Oh, you did by the
Yes.
industry people?
No, worse than
Oh,
that. The ladies of Los Angeles, I would say at least like when it's over two people, then I consider it a crowd
right.
of people that were like, "Oh wow, yeah, that's my husband would not let me cut my hair short like that." And I'm like, "Oh, does he let you dance
Hmm.
after 5 p.m.? Like, what else are you not allowed to do?" And people are like, "Oh, like, or Lauren, if you're trying to meet somebody, I don't know if you
Yeah,
want to cut your hair. You may want to like, as men like it." And I'm like, "Well, you know what? Just by saying that makes me want to shave my head."
exactly.
And there are lots of men that
That
like
like,
shave.
yeah,
Yeah, they're just
there
not
are.
the ones in LA.
Well, it is a LA. Okay, everybody, this is Lauren Weedman. And if you don't know who Lauren Weedman is, which I would be surprised, get yourself to the internet immediately. Lauren's been called the funniest person alive.
Oh, I don't. Who
You
said
have
that? I think that was
Seattle,
from the '90s, but okay,
but even it still counts.
okay. Yeah.
And
Sorry. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. Sorry, I forgot to do my mantras.
but you're
Okay,
not
sorry.
you're
Go ahead.
you're funny. You're funny, but you're so much more. I know it's like, oh, Lauren Weedman, she's funny. Lauren
I'll
Weedman
take it.
is, yeah, exactly. But you're a creator. You're a creative, and you have deep roots in theater and physical theater. You go back to Amsterdam where you trained, and was all of your college in Europe, or
I
did
didn't.
you?
Yes, I'm gonna. You know what? I wonder if I could just start lying and say it really was officially college, but maybe I
Oh.
shouldn't in case there's some kind of court case at some point. No, she's always been lying. I did. I went to theater school for a couple of years in
That's
the in the States, and then I went to Amsterdam to do theater
got it.
with a company. But it
Okay.
wasn't like I intended to come back and keep finishing school. Then I just stayed over there and worked in a hotel and did theater, did weird theater, which was totally worth it.
Well, I finally finished my theater degree, but it took like nine years, of and
You did
five
just finish
college.
it?
Not just, but I ended up at the UW is when I wrapped up because I'd done a college and left, aka dropped out,
Right.
gone to another college, and then thought, and then it was good to wrap it up and just get that degree. Not that it really resulted in anything,
No, but
except
I wish I had a degree. That's one of the things that when I give the speech when my kid gets to high school, I'll start giving the like. I'll tell you what I regret, Leo. I regret that I didn't get my only because
yeah,
um I could. It's for teaching because I love teaching and I love being and I would really love if I could have gone into more. I mean, college students are my faves. High school, college kids, I love
yeah.
them. So
Oh, you'd be
I would.
amazing. It's not too late, Lauren, to go and finish your degree.
Oh, so I tried it over COVID. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to do that. I'm going to finish my COVID, finish my COVID. Then I'll get my degree. And then it just was. I was like, okay, so now I have to spend. You have to go to the single mother. If I'm going to shut down
Yeah.
whatever operation I have going here to try to survive financially, and then think, okay, I'm going to go start, finishing this degree. The people I know who are able to do that have either come from a parent that could help them out a little bit, or
Yes.
a partner, or somebody help support. I would really have to. I thought about that because I was like, do I do it now? Now's the time. And then I couldn't. Yeah, couldn't
Yeah,
focus
no.
enough. But yeah, poor me.
No, no, no. This is real. This is real life. What's remarkable is that you are a single mother and like you are in the entertainment industry like in LA, still auditioning.
Yeah.
We had to reschedule this a couple of times, me because of kid things or whatever. And then you had an audition and a callback, and like you're still hitting the pavement, so to speak,
Yeah.
even though you've had some like really big successes. And
Yeah.
yeah, but
So I know
I
it's like,
think
yeah,
that's
like
kind
that.
of the misnomer a little bit in LA, and I think things have changed so much and after COVID and stuff. But like you never stop kind of having to hustle,
No, and there's a middle class. It's that whole thing of like, we don't hear about the middle of it all, what life is like if you're not the top.
right?
We know the top and we know the bottom. We know
Yeah.
you failed, um, and then I'm the middle in the sense that I have to continually, I keep working, but it's never that. I love to tell people this too. They're always like, "Oh, you're doing so well." I'm like, or on Hacks, like, "Oh, I saw you on Hacks." I'm like, I
Yeah.
made $7,000 before taxes and before agent manager. So I
Yep.
made less than my monthly expenses.
Yep.
And so it's great. But the good part, and I'm trying to be more positive, but I just started. So
Okay.
I started like yesterday, like around
Okay.
three
Perfect.
o'clock. So I'm not fully there yet, but I'm working on it. And I haven't put up any post-its yet. So I keep forgetting, but that I will continue to, it's hard for me to break away because right when I think I'm done with it, I get a job
Yeah.
and it's so fun. It's
Yeah.
just it's so fun to do. And it's so fun to be a part of it when you get something. It's hard and I on paper it feels like I shouldn't be doing this because it does not make enough money
Right.
consistently, but I get
Right.
health insurance. And
Yeah.
I did book the job that I did that I
Okay.
was did the callback for last week. Yeah, and it's great. I'll be in like New York for a couple, which is also hard. I'll be there for like a month and a half. Super hard with a kid, but
Yeah.
also necessary.
It is
And
necessary.
yeah. So anyway,
How do you, so what is that going to look like? How do you, and I'm asking, I poke like this, all these questions because I want to show like there's always a way forward from an impossible, what feels like an impossible. How do you be a single mom without support,
yeah. Oh my
more or
God.
less? And then how do you just uproot your life for 6 weeks or whatever and go to New
You know what I
York?
realized too, Hollis, when I was like, don't tell me what we're going to talk about. I don't care. And now I realize if I would have seen it, because I can talk about this, right? I don't want to get boring. So you'll let me know,
No,
right? If I'm like,
I,
if you're like, this is it, we get to talk about this. This is awesome.
this is what I want to talk about. I mean, I
Oh,
want to talk
fucking
about all your,
yay.
I want to talk about it all, but I want to talk about how you keep going. Like, how do you keep making this
Yes,
work?
this is the thing I care about. I'd say the biggest issue that I have that's been the biggest since I've become a single parent. It's one of those things like you don't know until you're there. And then suddenly I'm like, okay, the reason I bet we don't hear a lot about single parents is because they're so freaking busy.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're like, I don't know. I mean, I know there was a TV show, Better Off Dead or something. I know that somebody has done it, an actress, but she had a lot of money
Right.
to create new stuff. And I just find it like, I found it really debilitating. And I was really um, victimy about it. I have to
Hmm.
say that it's only recently that I started to pull it again yesterday at 3 o'clock.
I think it takes 48 hours. So tomorrow
Yeah,
at 3, you should,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm going to be a monster tomorrow. I'm going to be
Yeah.
like, I'm so wrapped in a rainbow and I deserve. But how do I keep, I don't know. It's been uh, I don't really know. How do I keep going? I mean, okay, this is one thing. There's a moment. So I've got a circle of friends here in Santa Monica that are all others. They're other single moms, and we're the ones that use the after school program where the kids can stay on the playground longer. And that's how we realize that, like, oh, these are all the moms that are coming to get their kids, or the ones. And uh, and even with that group, I felt like I was the only mother who, oh God, I don't want to seem insulting. I'm sure this is not from what I knew at the moment, this may not be completely true. I was the only one who paid their own rent. Like
Okay.
they all had exes who they got a big settlement from, or and I didn't have that. It
Yeah.
was just me responsible for everything. And I thought I liked that. I was like, I don't want anything. I'm not going to ask for anything. I want to feel like I'm successful on my own. I don't need anybody. And even with my ex-husband, I didn't want to go after, I didn't want to get into any court stuff because I just like, I don't need you.
Right.
I don't need your money. I need nobody. And then that was kind of a mistake. But at one point, like I've had many moments where I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to pull this together.
Hmm.
And we're surrounded by so much money. We're in such a wealthy area. We are definitely, like Leo's always saying, like, we're the poorest people of all my
Right.
friends. Like, but we're rich in love. But it's true that we are the poorest people of his, but crying about money and freaking out about like, I don't know how to change this. I don't know. I've always been an artist. I've always created my own stuff. And like, maybe I shouldn't have even, I mean, I have a kid, but I'm like, I really did have a kid, but I don't have a lot of, I'm a theater artist.
Right.
I never think about money. That's not my main thing. And, and other people would be like, and you're ADHD, but I don't really focus on that. But yes, that's a part of it. I'm sure it's a part of it. But and I like sometimes where I'm like, oh, ADHD, right? Okay, good. Oh, give me a little bit of room to like why I'm so
Yes.
chaotic and so bad with things. But this woman, what I'm getting to is this one, and a lot of the single mothers I was friends with had to leave, like over COVID, couldn't survive here, had to go live with
Uh-huh.
their mother, had to go back home, and had to get out of LA. And then I remember having a breakdown with this one woman who was getting ready to move to Canada, and she was like, "Okay, but right now, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like right now, in this moment, are you okay?" And I so did not want to admit that I was. I was like, "No, but you don't get how
Yeah.
I am this close." And I don't have family money. You don't get it. And
Yeah.
like, we live in an awful building. And she's like, no, but right now,
Yeah.
are you okay? And that has been, I come back to that over and over again where I'm like, because I always am.
Yeah.
I don't have any medical things. I'm okay. Leo's okay. And
Yeah.
so that I feel like is the main, um, yeah. I'm used to producing myself. I'm used to hustling and I like working, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
making my own projects and stuff like you probably do too. So,
I do, but
yeah,
that's amazing. I come back to that statement. I will say that to myself and I'll say that to my partner Nick because we're both artists. We're both artists now, like playing like then I got grown up and
right.
I started doing arts administration, which I enjoyed but came to the end of the road because you're basically administering a playing field for the artist to play in and you're doing all the work and you know what I mean
You
and
don't
so
get to
I
play.
yeah, I did. But I liked it for the time, and it paid more than the hustle. And then I've been selling real estate, which is a whole nother thing.
Oh,
That though,
cha-ching.
well, well, no, yeah, in the pandemic, and then post-pandemic, it's not, interest rate. It's a total ebb and flow, so it's
Right.
actually quite unreliable. Which recently I was sort of exploring. I'm still sort of I'm still hustling. It's just a different form.
Yeah.
You're still
Yeah.
looking for work
But
rather
you
than
have a partner. I like when people
yes,
are, that's
yes.
the other thing is which I'm also trying to stop doing this where I'm like, I just said this to my ex-husband when I was saying, this is before I got this job. And so I was like, I'm a little overwhelmed right now. And I go, my car is having trouble. I'm gonna have to get a new car. And I don't know that I need to put like a down payment down more than what I have. I'm just sorry, Jeff, I'm a little overwhelmed. And he goes, oh, me too.
Oh,
And then I was like, oh, can I stop myself? I can't stop myself. Wait a second. You have a dishwasher, you have a laundry in your facility, you have a wife, you have a wife's family that lives like 5 minutes away. And I just went bam, 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 bam,
yeah,
bam, bam, bam.
yeah,
And I realized that that's rude. And that when other people try to tell me stuff where I'm like, hey, just so you know, like
yeah.
you get to have, so but that's not, I really want to stop doing that as well and stop always focusing on what I don't. But it's really nice to have a partner, and I would love.
It is.
That was another thing I'd like to throw out. Just to stay classy with the exes that I'll say, I'm like, well, I don't have time to meet anybody because, or that I'm, by the time I'm older, it's just so hard here, and I'd love to meet somebody. I'd love to have that support, but how can I? And so, but
Yeah.
again, I'm trying to put all of that not as a part of the problem. It's just like whatever, you know what I mean?
But you're in
And
the
I
fire.
forgot. That's right.
You're in the fire. Like child rearing with a partner is all consuming. And
Yeah, that's right.
if you have ADHD or busy minds like mine, yours is a brilliant mind, and the world would be a worser off place without your gift that you share. So thank you for.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. I'm going to start saying that to people.
But it's true, Lauren. You are.
Oh,
I
it has
think
to be
you have a
true.
well, no, you can lie, but
Okay,
I'm
good.
not.
Sorry, go ahead.
You have a genius to you because you take your comedy is so hilarious because of the pathos. It's like the struggle beneath your comedy is real.
To women, it seems like
Yeah.
I'm realizing more and more as I'm still kind of doing work. That's the other thing is to want to keep doing work and always feeling like the world was way more opened up to me. was asking me to do work. Like I never, like I remember the first solo show that I did, and I toured it around Washington State to high schools, and then we did a Q&A after the show, and it was about being adopted. And I just remember this kid, they hadn't even seen the show yet. It was like they did the Q&A before the show. This was like a key thing about this story, because I was like, he hadn't seen me yet, and he was mad at me. So it wasn't like he saw my show and he was like, bullshit. But before the show, he was like, I have a question. What makes you think you're so interesting? Like, why would you be up there talking? And I was like, I don't. The theater asked me. I would have never said this. I was doing a little 10-minute piece. So everybody was always open. I got somebody, like in Seattle, the community just kept giving me opportunities to work,
Yeah.
and kept inviting me to, like, to write a longer show. What if you want to produce it? How about if we give you more support? And so I kept getting support from people. And then it just stopped. It stopped during, which is all makes sense. It stopped during because of it stopped because of the white lady thing. It's just not. It is time to sit back, and that's a part of it. There's no commissions, and I support that. So of course it's like, yes, better for the world. Not great, no, not great for me, but better for the world. But it's better. So that's better, of course. And then that, but then like no, I just wasn't getting the bookings, and I couldn't travel as much, even if I did get a booking to go do stuff. And I'm like, do I continue to do what I've always done if no one's asking me?
Right.
And I still do want to do it, but then I start to go, but should I be growing up? Like, I don't, if I'm struggling financially and I'm a kid, am I supposed to, should I have, well, did I do this wrong? Like, did I miss a meeting? And I'm still like, hey, everybody, let's put on a play. And they're like, yeah, we did that in high school. And now you see, we grow up and we become like admin, and, we help other people make, the kids do it. So that's another part too, of like how much, I feel like it's like mental health. I want to keep, it's hard not to do it.
Yeah. And this is, I feel like sometimes dreams are treated as like, okay, we gave it the good heave ho, did it in my 20s. And now let me, now I want to be more comfortable. So let me get a real job and serve in a capacity that's already created. I'm going to get a job that already exists and take on that label. And there's nothing wrong with this at all. I'm not poo-pooing this at all. But when there's a gift that a person has been given, like you have in your storytelling capacity, that is hilarious and also like disturbingly honest. Like it gets,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it
disturbing. Yeah. I do know. Yes.
Like for you to give that up and just like succumb, like, okay, well, I just think that would be a sad day.
Yeah. Maybe for you and a couple of my friends in Boise, but no,
Right.
I do. It's funny. I've sort of, I feel there's so many thoughts about this, because I think about this kind of stuff all the time, but I also feel like so many of us, I guess I believe in creativity so much in such a base way,
Yeah.
that if we're not doing it, and if we aren't finding ways to do that, to be who we really are, and finding some ways to get that out, and that's not in a role, like a role of a wife or a role of this or a role of that, where you get to just be exactly who you are, and the weirdness or the whatever. If you don't get to, I just feel like things just start to go, it gets so unhappy.
Yeah.
And I find now that it's also about like, wow, getting older. The other day I had this, I was telling a friend of mine, I go, oh my God, I think I get why old people just like prop a chair in front of a flower and just stare at it. It's like, I'll be looking at this flower just because I'm going to look at what's beautiful. I'm going to look at that because right now I don't want to have to, because it starts to get like, there's so much loss. There's so much stress. There's so much like, like, will there be will I have retirement? Do I have it? Can I afford this?
I know.
This hurts. Just let me look at this flower for a while. It's like life has become like how it was for a toddler. Like I remember that period with Leo where it was so fun to walk around. I felt like I was like a sober buddy to a drug addict. Just like, dude, let's go over and look at that grass again, man.
Okay.
That was fun. And then
my family's about to walk by. This is my office, which is actually a thoroughfare in my house. So let's do it. Come on through.
Oh, you get to do that and include
it
as a part of your podcast.
Teenager. Look at that was my Leo. Female Leo.
How old is she?
She's 13. How old is Leo?
He's 14.
Oh, okay.
Which for a boy means he's 7.
And for my girl, my 13-year-old is like 22.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
She's really independent.
What's her name?
Sibel.
Sibel, like a C-Y?
Sibelle.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Sibel, she's very sweet. She's an older sister.
She better be.
2. I have 2. And then her father, who's my partner, Nick, he's going to come in any minute. So I just wanted to, but we can go on.
To
The
warn me.
show
Yeah, because that was
must
really
go on.
traumatizing. I didn't know it was happening. It was really upsetting.
Right? You would have.
Yeah. My cat came. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So
Yeah.
where were
So,
is it?
look, and being an old lady, that's funny because I have this, I have the same that I'm going to end up just staring, looking out my window, when I'm 90, just like taking in the world.
Well, that feels like a comforting thing where I was like, I was trying to think, how am I going to cope? I know about people coping as they're getting older. When you feel if this whole idea of everyone's painting or people go back to doing creative stuff as they get older, they start getting like hobbies. Like
What'd you
I
say?
don't know, like the people get older and they
No,
get back to their creative what?
the word when you said chubbies, what was the word?
Oh, I don't think I said chubbies. I took it there. Oh, I said hobbies.
Hobbies.
Yeah, they're chubbies. Yeah. You're talking about erections, of course. Yeah.
Right.
I hope it's on speaker.
Okay. Hold, please, because
Okay.
I have come on over here and say hello to everybody. She's up. She's my daughter. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. She's supposed to clean her room, but she's asking if she can watch TV instead.
I say yes. You know what? This is what you always have to say, Sibel, right? It's just like childhood is so brief. Can I please enjoy it? Can I please just enjoy my childhood?
She's naughty.
You had a kid, you clean.
Yes. Exactly.
How dirty is her room? Is she disgusting or is it just like
No, well, she can be messy. Right now we're going through the keep and giveaway piles. And
oh my God, I love doing that. Why don't kids like doing that? It's so cathartic and fun.
It's cathartic. Yeah. So you go ask your dad where the remote is, and you can watch TV until Lauren and I are done.
It's gonna be like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, and you have to do the thing where she has to like hold every item. Does it bring me joy?
Totally. Does it spark joy?
Does it spark joy?
Does your life spark joy? I mean, really though, you've probably honestly asked yourself, could you sit at a desk for 8 hours a day?
Oh. That's never. No, I've also accepted fully, but it's weird how long it's taken me that I've always been I hate the term like weirdo outsider, but I have been, I guess, always with the like growing up, it was always me and the gay boys.
Yeah.
And it just never who my son is somebody I never knew. Like he's a bro, he's into sports, and he likes himself, I guess. Yeah. I'm always like, God, you seem really happy with yourself. I didn't have that. I was just so hated where I lived. I didn't feel connected to my family. I didn't feel connected to how people were living. I didn't feel connected to the Midwest. I didn't like everything. I didn't like the rules of like, oh, must we all sit at the table and we must all take turns talking? What if one person's really boring? I say we skip her and go to the interesting daughter. Like I just felt so, and again, it could be because I'm adopted, because who knows why I was, it's Bowie's fault. Who knows why I'm the person I am. But as I'm aging, realizing like I'll have moments of like, oh, I can't wear these. Like I paint now a lot. And I'm like, I can't wear my paint spattered. Like, and then I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll be the weird. I am that person. And I am driving like an older car, like in LA. That's like some kind of political statement that I'm not driving in like a Tesla helicopter.
Yes.
And I like it now because I feel like this is me. This way more reflects like when I was making like bigger money, when I was on like looking and on working on fancier show. I mean, now I still work on fancy shows, but I had bigger roles on them. But I wanted my life to look like that. And that was so dumb because I tried to push the certain identity and I overspent. And I remember watching like on looking Jonathan Groff, who's the lead guy in it. Like he had already made all sorts of, so money focused, but about survival, I guess. He'd made money and stuff, but he didn't come in after the first season with like new teeth, all new clothes, and like, a new, and I came in with like, I bought 5 iPads. I don't know why, because I can. Like I was just so bad with money and so about like, I guess I better do this now. And then now I'm back to living how my life looks like it should look. It reflects how much I make and who I am. And that definitely feels way better. And I am, there's no sellout to me, that's for sure. Which I used to think that meant that I just wasn't successful enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like instead of thinking, and then I've had other people and maybe they're blowing smoke, but like friends of mine who've seen me through really low points of just feeling really, most it's loneliness that I fight, just feeling isolated and lonely out here. Like living in LA wasn't really my choice. And now it is, but and they were always like, Lauren, I'd ask my fancy friends, like, why are you friends with me?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand, like, sure, maybe I'm the jester of your court, but like, why me? And and I've had a couple people say, and I feel almost like embarrassed, like I'm bragging about this, but it worked on me when they were like, you are exactly who you are. You've been true to yourself the whole way through. And like that, I thought she was a poster for some reason. The way she came back. What's that on her head? What's on her daughter's head?
It's a saddle pad for a horse. For some reason, my daughter's very invested. I think she likes you because she's normally doesn't give me the time of day. She's 13.
No, I'm telling you, girls. I love girls.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, anybody who tells you don't do what your mother says is cool. But you guys are into horses? Oh, that's so because you're in Boise, you're in Idaho. You have
I know. Well, what else are you going to do? Exactly. I've been in Idaho for 21 years, which my whole journey here was like, I'm passing through for 2 weeks from LA back to New York. I was doing the cross country move. And this was, and when I was separating from my husband at the time. And when we were in New York together, didn't I put on a festival and you did a short piece in it?
Was your ex involved in that as well?
He was.
Okay. Yeah. I remember him, not you. I'm just kidding.
Isn't that funny?
I just feel like I feel like he reached out a lot or something. I do remember that.
Yeah, he probably was more of the front-facing voice at the time.
I forget how many people, which is kind of embarrassing in the sense because I think I took things, of course, there was a lot more happening and I must have taken things more for granted because now people are like, remember, Lauren, I brought you out here to Albuquerque? And I'm like, oh, that was you. That's right. I think now, of course, I'd be so like, thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me an airline ticket. But back, I think I was more, but yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
you did a festival. What was it called?
Festival of Fresh Faces, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not lying. It's funny. I have amnesia for that period of my life as well. Like I remember some things, but it's just a big blur. And I think it's probably, I think trauma plays into that a little bit. Like the old
divorce.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't even
that wasn't the trauma?
No, we actually had a very amicable. I'm still friends with my ex, and he's lovely. It wasn't. It was more trauma. I think just trauma, like general anesthesia, like general trauma in one's life growing up, or it doesn't have to be always like this bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's more of like your sense of self growing up. Look at that little baby. That's your little fur baby.
Oh my God. I wish I could be that cute about him. I'm always like, ew, he bites me.
There's a cat.
I have trouble with men even when they're cats. Yeah, it's a cat.
Okay, there's a cat on Lauren's lap because some people are going to be listening.
Very loving. But yeah, sorry, there's a cat.
Yes, he's not
a baby that's got a hair problem. No, he's yes, and I've had to. I've accepted that it was hard for me to fully accept my love for the cat, and I have now. Because I didn't want to be like, well, this is my love story, like he's my butt. When I go to bed at night, I'm like, where is he? Get in here. But now I am like that. And
anything a little less lonely is a little less lonely, right?
No, but I'm still a little boy crazy where I would love to be. I mean, I hate even saying that loud, but I want to get to the point where some clip I saw of like Alice Walker, going like, I don't need men anymore. I just don't. She was like being interviewed like, I don't. I've got everything I need. And I was like, God damn it, that's the way you should be. But I'm still sort of like, do you have a cousin? Do you think is anyway? Okay, let's get him out of the way.
So the idea, I think I was looping back, but the idea of, and this, I don't think this is it, but where am I okay right now? That's like, do I have everything I need right now? Am I okay right in this moment? That's it's a profound shift in one's thinking, and it like builds faith muscles.
Yes. And also thinking, I guess I was so used to making things happen, and the idea that I'm going to be the one who can pull myself Like if things are not great, I should be able to get me out of here or something. Or like
Mhm.
the other thing is that and I'm not in the 12-step program, but I steal from it all the time.
Yeah.
Where that whole thing of like compare and despair, that you can't. I did a lot of, because of where I live and stuff, or actually where every time I go someplace where I'm like, I'm the only one who doesn't have a husband, or I'm the only one that doesn't have this, or I'm the only one, and I'll think, but, and I will, there are moments, because I am alone, and then I'm just me in my head. And if I
Yeah.
don't have a focus for it, or if I'm not like working on a show, or if I'm not, if I'm, and sometimes painting, I'll just start thinking about stuff where I'm like, well,
Right.
why? Like there's something, so something was wrong with me that I'm not aware of. Like, and then when I went to therapy to just recently, and I was like, I think I need to figure this out, because I'm starting to get really hard on myself again. And I do not want to be a insecure, self-hating old lady.
Right.
That's no elder of the village. And so I would like to sort of figure that out. And when I was in therapy, like I went to like 3 sessions, and there was a lot, and she was getting to know me, but she kept commenting on, she kept saying things like, well, there's normal people, and then there's you over
Oh,
here.
stop it.
Here's the curve of what people normally, and there you're over there. You're not off the rack. They really broke the mold. Like that. She kept saying all these things that, like, before, when people would say that, it would feel like, come see her show. She's so unique. She's so this. She's got a voice that, read her book, blah, blah.
Right.
And now, without having a product next to it, I was just like, okay, I get what you're saying, but what are you saying? Like, I get that, like, I'm different, but do you mean like I'm insane or something? Or like, am I like I'm wearing a diaper and like, and trying to like, and not in an old lady way, just in like a fetishy way, like a weird, like because I don't want to shame people in diapers.
Right.
But unless they need to be shamed and that's their thing, then they should pay me. But that thing of being being different and alone or whatever. And you know what helped too? Is when I saw Barbie, the Barbie movie. And God, I get into it with people about that movie, which I'm always like, really have nothing else to do than like, well, I didn't really care. I'm like, I don't want to hear from you. If you didn't like it, move on, go find something else you like. Let us be. Did you? I mean, I just really liked it. And yeah, me too. And I was weepy.
I was sobbing. Yeah, there were moments where I was sobbing. Yeah.
Yeah. So people, anyway, so I stopped getting, I hate people, hate's kind of strong. I understand that, but people were there like, well, I felt, but Weird Barbie, I was like, I've never felt more seen in my life.
Oh my God.
I'm Weird Barbie. And she only got the role because of where she is. I get it. But I was like, oh, I'm absolutely, and just the idea of so many things have been done to her.
Yeah.
And have happened to her that she can't, there's no way she could be where everybody else down there living where everybody else is. She's got to live a bit far away, but she's there. This is how I interpret it, that she's there, and people go to her for like the wisdom, because she's outside of it, so she can see clearly from the outside of what's happening and be helpful. And be and I just, besides doing the splits and everything, I can't do that, but I found that so such a great way to look at that. And then because before I was just like, am I going to be the old lady dressed in purple at the front of the stage and just like, wow, it's so cool you came to a music festival, like I still love it, wish I had a bra on, like I'm not like that. I don't see myself like that, but I love the idea of it. And actually, when I tried to date recently, I went through a flurry of trying to meet somebody, because I was like, I really would like to have somebody to drive me to colonoscopy appointments, and to make dinner with, all that kind of stuff. And so that, even trying to do that, took up so much of my space in my head. And now that I've only been like fully single again, or stopped dating for like a week, and already I have so much more room for my friends. I'm not just reacting all the time to the bullshit.
Yeah.
And I like it better. And I was like, God, this is where I'm supposed to be, I think. But I didn't want to, I was hoping I could be hopefully, whatever. So there's,
okay, but I need clarification. So when your therapist was like, oh, they broke the mold when they made, you're over there, and the rest was that helpful or hurtful?
At the time, and apparently another friend, I do a lot of talking about myself, clearly, was like, oh, you should have told the therapist that it hurt your feelings. I guess at the time I was feeling like, am I such a tough sell? Like, am I such for a partner? Am I such a weird? And every time she'd say it, I was like, okay, is that a good thing? Or I couldn't get it. At the time, I was in such a heavy headspace. I was starting to get depressed, and I was like, so it didn't feel good But then it's
Yeah.
all about where your head is, right? Because like then now I
Well,
look at it and I think, well, yeah, I hope I'm not like all these other people in Santa Monica. What
okay.
an awful thing
Okay.
to be more concerned about my home renovations
Okay.
than I am about helping people, about art, I guess.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about is art
And what were you
and
going to
artsy
say?
people.
Helping people what? Like, what would you say?
I like teaching. Like I've been
Yeah.
doing, I do coaching and teaching, and as well as still, doing my own thing. But I really like the
Yeah.
coaching. I like being I like helping people find I'm helping people write their shows based on their lives.
Yeah.
And I love hearing about people's lives. I love watching people try to love themselves through it and try to find a way to make it theater or sort of that kind of stuff's been really satisfying. So,
You
um,
started
yeah.
doing this like, was this pre-pandemic or during the
Yeah,
pandemic?
I would always do it. Like if I did like a show at a college or in a
Okay.
certain, sometimes they'd have outreach stuff, right? Where they'd want me to go teach a workshop. So I always did it throughout my career in Seattle, especially. Like, I do workshops, but never
Okay.
teaching consistently until yeah, COVID, I started doing it on my own. And now I do it whenever I can. And it's definitely not a money thing. I mean, it's
Right.
a little bit, but it's 100% just loving, watching people make stuff. That's why I realized, oh wow, I guess I will be able to step aside and say, I'm done. I'm going to help somebody else. Not yet. I've got to
Yeah.
wait till I have like a knee. I got to wait till something in my body says you can't, dance anymore. Then I won't. Then I'll stop performing. But
I love that.
anyway,
Okay, so part of I feel like we get so tripped up by this idea of success. And like you said, this
oh
formula that
yes,
like we're now in our 30s, we're in our career now, we're moving forward, we're getting promoted. By the time we hit 40, we have, our retirement plans activated, or if, it's thoroughly on, all of
sure.
that. And we have this and that and that and this. And
Some
I
do.
just
Yeah.
wonder though if we threw that in the garbage, that idea, because that's one vision out of infinite. And yes, we don't.
That's what my
Yeah.
friend George and I are always like. We got to redefine the word
Yes.
success.
Yes,
The
you
same thing
do.
with redefining what love looks like too at this age.
Yes.
Like I'm like, this is not the same. I have friends who are still holding on to their. This is something I'm using in the show, so don't steal it. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. You can have it. But that. Well, I'm stealing it from you too. This is the most unoriginal thought ever. Those are always the good ones, really,
Yeah.
unlike the cliches. But like stuck in a moment, you can't get out of it. This idea of like this is what it's going to look like. Like love is going to look like this.
Yeah.
Falling in love is going to look like this. I'm going to get this job. It's going to look like that. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't look that way anymore. The definitions. It's just. It's like my friend who he was in Santa Monica working for a little bit, and he's in his 50s. And this was a while ago he was here, but I remember he was going to these classes. I go, don't you feel self-conscious sometimes about being the oldest person in these like yoga classes around here? Because I started to not want to go. And this was in my
Uh,
40s. And I'm like, everyone's so young. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, no, it's great. He goes, I can't keep up. I don't try. I just
right.
do that. I do it. I think if I can do a little bit of what they're doing, I'm doing great. And I was like, oh my God, he loves himself. He's so much more secure. And that's what a great way to be. So now to redefine like having a good workout even. Do you know what I mean? All of it. Oh, hey
Yeah.
girl.
There's Sibel. She does
She's
like you.
pretty. Or
She likes
yeah. Don't
you
tell
have
her that she likes me, then she'll hate me. If
no,
you say
she
she
does.
likes me, she have to prove that she doesn't like me now.
I
Sorry, I
love
didn't
it.
mean to yell at you.
I
You see why
have
I'm
to
single. I'm bossy.
I love bossy
I
people.
just told you what not to do. Sorry.
Okay, so but let me just so he's a dude in LA in his mid, whatever, 50s or whatever, doing yoga, and has the graciousness to let himself off the hook. You're a woman in
Yeah.
LA in her 50s, like with the stigma of like
Yeah.
isn't there a different standard of a man in his
Totally.
50s
And the guy I'm
and
thinking of too
yeah.
is also a millionaire, by the way.
Okay,
He's
and
like
then
a
there's that too.
CEO. So yeah, he's secure. But I just remember thinking like, oh, I have borrowed that where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. If I do a little bit of this, I'm in good shape. Like that's no, and the female thing and the aging thing, all that kind of stuff is so it's like when I went on, I hate to keep mentioning, I really love to be the kind of woman who is saying like I'm done with I don't need a man to because I really don't. But at the same time, I'm just talking about more companionship. It's what loneliness is the thing.
But okay, but
But
there's need and then there's want, and sometimes we
right,
conflate the two, but wanting companionship is awesome. Just like my daughter
yeah.
wants the companionship of Lauren Weedman
What's
right
up,
now.
hey girl? What's up, Idaho? What are you eating? Is that a rice cake? Oh my God. Go throw it up immediately. I'm just kidding. That's a dark, awful joke. What is it? So if you go to do you do theater stuff?
Sometimes.
Are you with
We've
Sometimes.
only if she.
God.
We've never. I know, because I feel like I'm like the opposite of like.
You
she
don't
did
have to
not.
do theater stuff. I don't care about theater. So I just wondered if you were like your parents, if you're like kind of show offy and theatery. No, you don't look like you're show offy. You just look like you're like whatever.
Totally.
Right.
She's very talented.
You're
She's
like,
actually
yep.
an artist. Lauren is an artist too. Sibel came into the world knowing how to draw, just like right.
Are you
out
kidding? Like you can draw, like make things look like they actually look.
Yeah.
That's such a trip. I can't do that. I always just am like, I just do pretty colors.
Well,
That's really good, actually.
Your
That you know how to do that without taking a class. You didn't even study how to do it. Oh my God.
and
That's
just
Satan's
like your
gift right there.
But see, we all come in with a gift from Satan. No, there are gifts. Like people do enter this world with a little like, oh, look at this skill I just know how to do. Like
That
you.
is amazing. Yeah.
Were you always
I
funny?
guess so.
Where's my cat?
I don't know.
Your cat?
Viewers can see you. My listeners, thank you for. My daughter has appeared over my shoulder, and because she's sort of
I'm glad she
fascinating.
did because I didn't realize that she was so pretty.
She's
Not to talk about appearance, but she's really
smart.
pretty.
She's really pretty.
I mean, she's smart. She seems smart. I looked at her and thought she's smart. That's what I meant when I said.
When you said pretty.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you're not supposed to talk appearances.
Now
I don't
we're
have a
having
daughter,
dog. So it's just a full fest. Here's our dog, Lauren. This is
okay.
Rocky.
I love that you don't give a shit. You're just like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be in here. Here's a dog. Next thing you could be back there, like, I'm sorry. She comes through like backstroke.
Yeah,
She's like, oh look, here's a Christmas tree.
If I would have
She's just
started like, hey, Sibel, like my friend Lauren is going to be on my podcast. Will you just show up and like hang out? She would have been nowhere near. It's the fact that she's kind of not supposed to be here right now.
Hello, that's of course.
But
like,
it's also.
oh, hello.
All right, honey buns. She likes you.
All right, I'll ignore her too. It's up to me. I'm also paying because I do love. I always want to talk to girls because Leo, I like it as bros, right?
Yeah.
And so whenever I see girls, I'm always like, "Hi, you guys, what are you doing?" And then their girls are always so excited to talk to me.
Yeah.
And immediately, same thing. They start talking about this. Everyone's like, "I like your necklace. I like how that your shoes. I like how they share." And then we just talk about each other's appearances. I was like, it's all. But anyway, very sweet. I think focus back.
They can sense that you have kept something alive in you. And again, I'm not like poo-pooing like people's paths take, but what I love is that you've stayed true to why you're here, because you're not here, I would argue, to, I don't know, do my taxes or.
Well, if you asked me to, I guess I would. No, I wouldn't do your taxes. I don't do my taxes. But also, I worry. Yes, it is about the head game of it all, because when I was married and I would start to get down on myself, I know that it's always been helpful to have someone in my life to go, no, like what you're saying. This is what you're here for. Because a part of me will be like, was I supposed to have?
I know.
Like, was there something else I'm supposed to be doing? Like, other people are able, like when people like. It's having a kid and being in this world where, like, when it comes to vacations and everybody's going on a vacation, let's say, like, here comes this break. And when it comes to holidays and vacations, and finally, I've told so many people that it really is an issue, or I get stressed out and sad thinking about, okay, Leo, and I want to own it instead of feeling like I'm a victim to it. Instead of like, nope, that's what we do. We do this. That's our family. But I have to really own it because it's just me. I don't have like, oh, we're a bunch of weirdos over here. I'm the only one in this. I'm in a weird part of town where there's not a lot of people like myself, or a lot of in LA. There is on the east side where you can afford more and stuff. You do have more people who are artsy types.
Yes, and you're in Santa Monica, which is super expensive, super polished.
Yeah,
it's the beach. It's image.
Yeah, it's weird.
Kind of conscious.
Yes,
and that's not everybody, of course. But you've chosen to live there. Have you been in the same apartment?
That's another thing, is starting to realize, like, instead of thinking, because I'm always like, it's my ex's fault. I didn't want to live here. I moved in here. It's his apartment. I wanted to get out of here. But instead of constantly doing that, or I did it for so long, I should say, that now I'm like, no, I chose this. I chose this. Because I've complained about living here the entire time I've lived here. I'm always like, I didn't choose this shit. I don't
Yeah.
like Santa Monica. I like this is so not my vibe. But I'm also there's a part of like this woman who moved, the one who told me, Clea, who said, "Are you okay right now?" She also was like, she was the weird one, and then she left, and now I'm the weird one. But she was always like, "I'm glad." She was, "I like to be in the city, like where I can get away with anything because I'm just the weird." She was black on top of it. She was like, "I'm
Yeah.
black, and I'm the weird, kooky one who rides around on her kid's scooter wearing like kitty ears." And, and she's like, it's just, she was happy to be the kooky lady. And now I'm sort of also like, well, maybe in these environments, sometimes it's nice to be that role. I'm trying to get more like, not be so down on myself. And I think
Yeah.
Leo is feeling, I see him feeling proud or prouder, if that's the
Mhm.
right word, or not. Like when I'm painting and stuff, I feel like that he wasn't quite sure what to make of that.
Okay.
I don't know whether that was something cool, if his friends would think that
Yeah.
was okay. And I just worry having a kid. I just feel peer pressure more.
I
It feels
know.
back in high school again, right? I just feel more like, oh, my, like there's graduation from 8th grade is happening, and I actually had a flash of like, oh, because these bitches are gonna dress up, and they really like they have the outfits like ab fab, like people have like crazy designer outfits, and I'm
Right.
like, no, don't even try to go there. Just wear what you wear, whatever. So again,
Yeah.
so basic stuff that I shouldn't even be thinking about. That I
No, no,
still
no.
will kind of
It's
get caught
real.
up in.
It's very real.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
very
so.
real. And I think we're in our 50s and we are at a
Are you in your
stage.
50s?
I'm 50. What am I? I'm 50. I'll be 52 in October. So we're
Wow.
kind of
Okay, great.
twinning. You're
Yeah,
a little bit older and
I'm
wiser.
55.
I know.
Yeah, much wiser. I was going to say that right off, but
Yeah.
I think it's apparent to everybody. No, my voice is deeper. Clearly, I'm wiser.
Right.
Um, I was UPS guy. Um, Sorry. Yes, yes, yes. 55. I got
So
distracted by UPS.
they can be distracting. Those UPS delivery. We do Amazon a lot. I'm guilty of lots of
I know, me too.
packages through Amazon.
I know.
Okay, so I had a similar, like I've been in Idaho for 21 years. So my whole point was I moved here for a week 21 years ago, and then somehow that turned into 21 years. And so for so long, I also was like, I'm here. I wasn't owning that I made the choice to be here. It was
Right.
kind of like I was still blaming something, some other force beyond me for being here. And the truth is, I've just chosen to be here for 21 years.
But is it also thinking, because I'll think, and I don't know, I've thought, like, did I think that I was like more special than I was? Like, why did I think I was going to be so different? I guess.
Uh-huh.
Where did I think I was going to be? Paris? Like, and I
Right.
think it was, and also because of having a kid, like, I think I had a hard time fully accepting, like, before I had Leo, and I was talking to some other artist friends who are, a lot of them were like, just get ready, get all your work done before you have your kid, because you won't be able to fully dive in. And I remember thinking, that just can't be true. There's no way that you can't be an artist and a mother. There's just no way. There's got to be artist mothers out there. Um, and they're like, yeah, you can be, but your work won't be. Just it's so many doomy things that I was like, oh my God, that can't be. And now I see that yes, there is a sacrifice that I would not. Of course, I'm glad I made it. Um, though Leo, the joke that, well, he'll say to people, God, I hope it's not like something he's in therapy for in years from now, but he's always saying to people like, Mom's disappointed because I'm not gay or artsy. And I'm like, I'm not just no, she's mad. He goes, she's mad. I'm not gay or artsy. I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Um, but because I, yeah, I don't know the kid thing and you've got to be someplace more stable and you've got to be, but you probably
Yeah.
moved there. Did you fall in love or something? Did you meet Nick here or
Kind of.
something? Or
Well, I got
yeah,
scared. So unlike you, I think your capacity to be in the discomfort is greater than mine in that regard. Like I wasn't as confident about my skill set, as an
yeah,
actor. I was when I was younger. There was a time when I had finally like given over to being an actor, and I knew like I had no doubt in my mind I was gonna like the pathway was open, and I had opportunities and stuff, and I kind of was like, oh, not next one, not next one. Like
yeah.
I see now that it was kind of a like I think I was protecting myself because I think on some sense I knew there's no way I could have handled that much
Yeah, that's
influence.
smart.
Kind of. I mean, it was
To
a
not be
hard,
an actor.
yeah, but it was a hard pill to swallow
Mm.
because there was a deep sense of like I didn't I didn't believe in myself enough to like go through it to get, to get to the destination of whatever that was going to be.
Yeah, but it's such a, I don't know. I know what you're saying. Anytime there's unresolved dreams,
Yeah.
obviously that feels, because I have people in class like that a lot, and that seems. But there are so, but man, well, I guess you never know. But that road,
True.
like even I will now. Just the other day, I was thinking about the difference between, because I have friends who are super famous, have done really. It's such it changes your psychology
Yeah.
it deeply. Like it's almost like sometimes I'll see it as the mental illness of
Yeah.
fame, where it just changes them and the way that they treat other people and the way they are in the world and how deep you actually can go with them. And they're sort of cut off from other. Um, you get treated a certain way, so you never really know yourself. You don't get to face yourself that much. So it's got
Yeah.
so much, there's so many problems to it that I like when I when people are like, "Oh, Ellen DeGeneres, turns out she's like mean and bossy," and I'm like, "How do you think you get to those?
Yeah.
You got it to get this shit done. You got to be like
Right.
before." If I think about when I've had moments of like, okay, do I really want to have my own show? That was always the thing, my own TV show, my own TV show. And I would have to, the one visualization I would have to do is, can I handle, if I had that kind of power, my friends or people coming up to me wanting something from me that could I handle saying no to people who I didn't, I'd have to actually say, no, you didn't get that job. I wouldn't be able, I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
Like I'd be lying to everybody. I'd be like,
Yeah.
you got the part and you're the president. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm going to give you $40,000. Like I just am such an I want
Yeah.
to make people happy more than I want my own like power. And you have to really want that. Ambition has to be pretty like fuck everybody to get to that level. So it's,
I think so.
I get it that like I'm acting like I'm going to solve this for you, but I do think that it's one of those like dodge that bullet or like, in a way, as long as you still get to do you get to act now or do stuff on stage?
Well,
Don't you get to in Boise at all?
that's funny. That's when it took a turn. So when I was living in LA, New York, and Seattle were my foundational cities for acting, and I always felt like I was talented. I always had I wasn't a huge actor, but I always had door like I would get cast, and
Yeah,
people would
people
want to work
liked
with
you.
me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
moved to Boise, and like I met one of the theater. There were two professional theaters, and I met one of them, and like immediately I was like, oh, that door is not open. And I think it's because it's such a
Did you sleep with the
small.
artistic director?
I didn't.
Okay, just checking. Sometimes that's an issue.
Right.
Sorry, go
Maybe
ahead. So
I
yeah.
should have. No, I shouldn't have. But
Yeah,
no, but it
that's
was
the
an immediate.
mistake.
I
Yeah.
think what the difference here is like in a bigger city, so many people are doing it that there's like there's friendly competition.
Yeah.
Whereas here, if there's two things, people are holding on tight for their
Yeah.
thing. And then here I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm from LA. Nice to meet let's do something together. And they're like, yeah, nope. And I took it like my confidence plummeted. I thought,
Yeah.
oh my God, maybe I suck. Maybe I'm not, good at this. And I stayed and I let that kind of become my story. Like I allowed that door to just kind of shut and then
Right.
I stayed behind that closed door for so long. But the beauty of it is like, I think if you keep the intention of being a creator alive in you, it can take a different shape. And so this is what like this new podcast is about. And
Totally. And there's so many ways there's something so uncool and unsexy about that realization. Sometimes you go like about analyzing what made you want that anyway.
yeah,
Like, what was it about it? Because sometimes it's about like, just tell me that I was worth more than I thought. Like, tell me that I'm
yeah,
more valuable than I feel. Like that could be a part of it. And sometimes for me, it's always about wanting to play on a level that I don't get to play in normal life. Like I'm
yeah,
not allowed to have the same amount of energy. Like it's just a rare, like gay men, I could play with them because they also thought they were fucking with the rules of reality in
yeah,
the sense. I don't mean to be like, reality says that a man should be with a woman. I don't mean that, but I meant like just being bigger than
yeah,
our normal day-to-day thing. And then trying to, like, as I'm getting older too, trying to go, think about why did I do this? Why? What's the deal? What am I? And sometimes it's about like, I have this certain, like, I enjoy analyzing stuff too. It's like, until it's just, analyzed to death. But this realizing like, okay, did I like acting because I was trying to, is it about being adopted and feeling like I am kind of worthless and trying to, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, just, and now I enjoy that part of sort of understanding more, not just sort of like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, like you have when you're younger. Like now it's sort of, I can, and then find ways to, that's the fun part of it, that you get to still do, because you can still do that stuff. And one good thing about a small town is that you can go like, I'm putting on a play.
Yeah. Yep. And we've done that.
Like, I can do what I want. There's no, I mean, right? And people, I would
you
assume,
get an audience.
I don't know.
Yeah. People show up because it's something going on in the city versus like, oh, here's 276,000 options this weekend. Which one are we going to go to? Yeah.
Yes.
Here it's like,
I remember when I first came to Boise, I know there's still just 2 theaters. Is it just like,
yeah,
BCT
there are some littler ones now popping up with like trained actors, because before it was community theater, which was, your doctors and your like professionals that then did theater in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a waiting for Guffman type of thing.
Yes, bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. Them. Yes, totally. Right.
And then there were 2 professional theaters. So now there are, younger up and coming. Yeah, there is more. There's more. I'm
That's
out
cool.
of the loop, but it is good. It is good. It is good. But I'm not in that world at all. Although I started with solo theater. I had a show at On the Boards as well in Seattle called Bleach.
Oh, hey.
It's my foray into solo work. And I think had I stuck with that, it would have been more fulfilling, because I kind of struggled with always trying to be, I don't think I am very direct. I am directable, and then I'm not, because there's something in me that's like, I want to tell the story. You know what I mean? I want to, I want to write the story.
I don't like being told what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. Yeah. And trusting other people is also an issue. So that's other things I have to work. But I didn't know that about the, On the Boards. That was the best. That's like a total, and how fun. I mean, like and I'm not trying to promote it, because I'm not teaching now anyway for a while, but this idea, it's so amazing. And it takes so long, when I'm teaching now with adults, how it's mostly women. It's usually all women, one gay man. Once in a while there's a straight guy, but like, it's to say to somebody like, okay, you can do whatever you want on stage. You get to now play and do whatever you want up there. Like, what would you want to do? How would you want to do, like, and how hard that is to get freedom back. Yeah. And to get like, I could do it. I can keep playing. I can keep doing it. I can keep, that's the part of like, oh, I just would hate to think of losing that. But then you have all these voices in your head now that you're listening to, or that are telling you how you're doing, that you have to get rid of, or whatever. But as long as there's some outlet, because otherwise I feel like if you don't have an outlet, that is what it seems so depressing, or where life just starts to feel like, what's the fucking point? I mean, I know there's points. Yeah. There's like, family.
I mean, I've lived it. You get those kids to bed so you can, have your glass of wine and sit down at the Netflix show that you sort of could care less about, but it's something. And like
totally.
We've had that on repeat in my own household. It's not really there. It's not as pervasive right now, but so that's kind of, it's easier. It's more comfortable to just, like get in that loop.
Yeah.
It's really
I get tired too.
Yeah.
What, uncomfortable to do stuff, you mean?
Keep putting yourself out there. Like what you're doing. Like you just auditioned for, I was doing self auditions once the pandemic hit. It's so uncomfortable. It's so.
Yeah, because you feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like, and I've done them for so long, and I've been at it for so long, that a part of me is also like, come on now. At this point, I should not have to.
Yeah.
I do have that sometimes, but I know I have to. And then I had a friend help me with the self-tape during COVID in Seattle. And I remember she was like, and it was very good. It was for a film. It was like with Tilda. It was a good film. It was like and she, as we're doing it, my friend goes, God, it's just so infantilizing. And I was like, yeah, you just freaking nailed it. Thanks. Yeah, I always feel like a little bit like an asshole. Yeah. Even the job that I just got, like I'm a chef, and I'm I play a lot like bitter, angry chefs. And it's not like anyway, I'm happy for it. But like, she was like, no, remember, it's a busy kitchen. You're in a busy kitchen. And I had a moment of like, oh my God, Like, I feel so like, look at me, I'm an old man. Oh no, I'm a chef. Like, you just feel like so dumb pretending. But I realize, oh, I have to keep loving this.
Yeah.
You have to keep really loving it, and you have to keep understanding why you love it.
You
And
do.
not just sort of like, this is what I should do. It has to really be like, oh no, I fully believe in this. This isn't about my ambition anymore. I know I'm not going to make a ton of money. I just am into doing this.
Yeah.
And I have to always try to find ways, like, even when anything I'm doing, I have to always have some kind of like, why do I do this? And I worked with Sir Ben Kingsley. I like to try to drop that whenever I can. It was, I won't tell the thing, but it's like, it was an amazing experience with him. I did this Marvel show with him that has not come out yet. And working with him, it changed. I was like, okay, because I have friends who are quitting the business left and right. We're just like, there's not enough work anymore. We're losing work. We're aging out. People becoming therapists, people doing that, people all. And I was like, you know what? I'm afraid I'm not, I don't think I'm definitely not done. Like I'm going to keep being here because I can't help it. They're so dumb, the self-tapes, but if I can get a good person to read with and I'm not crabby, it's because my own life is making me so crabby that I get like, oh, but yeah, auditioning is always, it does have a humiliating nature to it.
It does have a humiliating
right?
nature. And it's, but it is part of the, I mean, but so does, I don't know,
anal sex.
Anal sex and the stuff you have, if you had an office job, there'd be things you're doing that you're like, okay, this sucks, but here we go. This is part of the job. So
totally.
It's part of the job.
That's what I tell myself too. I'm always like, this is your, like, and when I think about just finances, where I'm like, how come I wish I had more money. I always think, well, would I trade that? I just don't think I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to. So yes, this is. I'm
gonna throw this out there because why not? What if you, like, for a month, just like write something down but what if you could transform your idea of success to say, because to some of us from the outside, like you've been on Hacks, Abbott Elementary, you're Sir Ben Kingsley, a movie coming out.
Yes, fancy
like
dancy.
That's the stuff.
Yes, lucky. Yes,
lucky, and I'm not saying that to be like, buck up, girl, but I'm saying from an outsider's perspective, it's like, oh, Lauren Weedman, yeah, she's a super successful actor. Her life must be amazing. I love that we're talking about the underbelly, the shadow side of this work. But what if just for a month you were like, I'm a totally successful actor making a shit ton of money? You know what I mean? Like sometimes reprogramming, just like saying something enough times can sometimes make us start to believe it.
I too read The Secret, or I skimmed. I have a problem saying like I make a lot of money. This whole thing of like I am this. What I do believe is that I do, like I saw a tweet or something. It wasn't a tweet. I don't do that anymore. Somewhere Rosie O'Donnell was like the 2 best comedies on television, or somebody was posting like about Abbott Elementary and Hacks, both being the only 2 shows that are doing comedy right. And I was like, oh shit, I'm on both of those.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I had a moment of like, if I look at my work, what I get to do, I'm super happy about it. Like, I'm really happy about this job I'm doing, even though if I looked at all the other roles in this show, I would have a little bit of like, I would have rather done that part. But I didn't get famous enough where I get to be up for the bigger roles or offered to people who are way more famous. And so I'm still on them, but yet I still have a good time when I'm working. So, and it's great. It's always fun to be on. So things, I really can see that things are awesome. It's really about that. It's about money and day-to-day survival, the single mom thing. I don't have enough money or support in my community or with whatever from family to make, like, I just need a dishwasher, like things that are really basic. I don't have. And I think that I got in my own way about not kind of fighting for that more, or thinking there's a girl in my class who is working on a show. The theme is about what do people deserve? Like this whole idea of thinking you deserve something and how that's so problematic. Like you don't want to think like, who am I to think I deserve this? Like if you're somebody who grew up a certain way, to be humble, if you're Christian in a certain way of like, no, I'm no better than anybody else. And I think I have that a bit where I'm like, who am I to say that I deserve? But I've been just in the last, again, yesterday at 3:00. Yeah. I was like, it started with men where I was just like, I deserve to, like, even when I say it, I get embarrassed, but I'm starting to try to say it to myself and not immediately think I'm being, obnoxious. Like it's weird. It's like, I guess it's your parents or whatever that put
It
certain
is.
messages in
It's
your
a
head that make you
yeah.
think you
It's
don't
like,
deserve stuff. But I
but it
appreciate that. Thank you. Because I do feel good. I love the parts I get to do. I just need,
yeah.
there just needs to be
You
more
just
of
need
them.
to be paid. But I would say, okay, so like look at Jean Smart, like you know, that what
Yeah.
if you are, what if your career, what if there's more in the future? What if you're not
There,
even there yet?
I think that, like, and I've talked about this. That's why I've decided to keep staying. Is that I think what would happen is that people don't. I'm not a part of why a TV show would have. If you attach me to a TV show, that's not going to help sell the show or make money because I'm not enough of a person that's going to go, oh my God, I love that person. But if you sneak me into the show,
Yeah.
and then I get to sort of be my, and work, and then I can sort of make myself more beloved.
Yes.
And I don't mean that I don't go on to anything thinking I'm going to make myself beloved, by the way. I just mean that's how it works for characters or parts. If you start to go, oh, they really like the mayor, or they really like
Right.
that maybe how, but the main thing is that I just want to keep loving it. I can say like, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do this, I make this money. I just want to be loving it.
Yeah.
I just want to go, I love this, I believe in it. And it matters to me. It matters to me, storytelling.
Yeah.
It matters to me.
Yeah.
Entertainment matters to me. It's
It does.
connection. So that's, to me, the way that I focus and feel better. And I'm fighting to keep that focus. So I don't start going backwards and going,
Yeah. But so
yeah.
yeah, well, I still challenge you to take that, do something for 30 days that feels weird financially, like tell yourself I make a shit ton of money, and just do it. Because
does it work? Do you
well,
just say like I make a lot of money?
Here, I don't know that I don't think it just takes saying something, and then like that's where I think like the secret in that whole way of thinking. It's not like magical thinking and but you can, it's neuroplasticity, like you can regroove your brain to replace a limiting belief with a more empowering belief. Like your brain actually starts to recognize the newer thought. It's whatever whatever you're giving attention to. So if you're like, oh my God, I can't pay my bills, and that's where we live in that cycle, then that's all we're gonna see, and that's gonna be an experience. But if we're
this is good.
I make a shit ton of money. I love what I do and I make a shit ton of money. I love what I do and I get paid, handsomely for my acting skills because I've dedicated my life to it and because I'm gifted, and because I love it. I think your why you do it is totally clear because entertainment matters and you love it. But what if you just added in?
I'm adding that in out of trying to make sure that depression doesn't, come in or start to like, I don't get I am being more militant about my head and about my instinct. And because of aging and because of how dark it can get, like because I'm alone and I'm alone. But because of that, I have to really make sure that I'm buoying myself up, and I really have to be in my own head trying to, but this is, I just realize I've always known that, but I hit another, like a couple weeks of just having a just really bad headspace. And then now I'm feeling better. And I know it's fully because of because I've never been insecure about I have moments of it, but when it comes to my career, I'm always like, I'll be fine. I always think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's usually around like, but can I meet somebody? Okay. But no, I'm with you. I'm with you with the neuroplasticity.
Plasticity. So because it does take repetition, and basically it feels, I think to our nervous system, it's like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like I've struggled financially my whole life. I'm not. So now you're telling me I make
but why? Now it's like, why not? I just think a why. And mine's just really like, I've just been like, I am deserving of it. I am deserving. Like I am deserving.
And that's it. I think that's it.
Yeah.
And I think so from 3 p.m. yesterday to 3 p.m. 30 days from now, you'll be a new woman. All right.
Really?
But
what you're going to be taller?
But maybe what you'll do is ask your manager to see if you can get a little more money next time. Like that's what I mean. When you're deserving, you might start seeing an opportunity to ask for more.
Yes.
Because that's where like the secret doesn't work if you don't ask and then receive. Right.
Yeah. No, yes. I'm going to leave it at that. Yes.
Perfect.
I'm just thinking about my manager. Okay. No, I'm not going to think anything negative. Just That's right. I'm going to say Hollis told me.
Oh, and you know what?
Um,
And maybe managers can be upgraded too when we're
oh my God, what are you trying to do, Holly?
I'm
You're
like
like, this is like, this
disrupting.
podcast ends with you're like, listen, get rid of that. We're done with this. We don't need that anymore.
Girl.
We're moving it out of the
That's
way. We're moving it out of the way.
but there are, there are
I've thought that too.
yeah,
I've
there you
thought
go.
that too. I mean, I've gotten rid of so many guys I've dated that you'd think it'd be
Yeah.
easy in my career, but I tend to hold on tight to, no, and it does. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's
Okay.
uncomfortable. That's
It is
why.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, but you know what? You've probably been uncomfortable 80% of your life, right? So you can handle some more discomfort in leveling up.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Lucinda Williams quote. And she was like, I heard her on the radio. This is years ago because she was just turning 60, and she's much older now. And they were like, the guy was interviewing her from NPR, and he was like, so you're 60 years old. Like, we know that you've gone through in your life. We all know through your music, you've had a lot of heartache. You've had a lot of ups and downs in your career, but now you are an icon. You are married to your manager. Like, you've met the love of your life. He's like, would you say that you're now at 60 finally comfortable in your own skin? And she goes, man, I've never been comfortable a day in my life, man. And I pulled the car over, and I was like weepy, and I've got to write that shit down, because I'm like, that is so, like, no matter what happens, always this sort of like that unokay feeling, like, but I can relate to that.
So you have the wherewithal to handle discomfort. So push your boundaries a little bit in the financial realm, and it'll, it's going to feel wrong at first, but then it might start feeling right.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, I'm going to sue you.
Please, that's fine. That is an option.
And I'm going to have your daughter taken away from you. I don't want to be, I don't mean to be so punitive and so, I'm going to get you. But, I just feel like all of a sudden I'm feeling my power. And I feel like my power is, I want to just make sure that I'm going to destroy anybody who bothers me.
I love it.
She told me I'd have 100 million by now.
That's right, girl.
Also, it's being around Jean Smart, as much as I haven't been around her that much, but she walks around just like, don't put that there, move that. I didn't ask you. Get me a granola bar. Right? Don't talk to her. Like, but I don't want to be that extreme. She's really like, but she's also like owning her age and her power and her, like, I'm always like, don't worry about me.
Okay, well, maybe this week let's worry about Lauren Weedman in the best kind of way.
Okay. Yeah. This is everybody, right? Everybody should worry about me, not just
everyone who's listening.
Right.
The millions that will listen.
I was just going to say, is it you, your family, and then a couple, like, I know there's some Seattle or some Boise lesbians that love you. So I know there's some ladies out there that will be there for you.
There are whoever is listening. I love you. You're amazing. And this is for you. This is for you. And watching, because we're on YouTube too.
Oh, this is going to be on?
Yeah, I recorded.
Okay, then I had forgotten that. And a couple times when I thought you weren't looking at me, I was doing. First of all, I have my workout clothes on. And
I didn't know that.
I was doing this, like, I was half joking and half like, God, I got to look at myself. But everybody does that on Zoom. So
they do. You look
I didn't realize you'd see the daughter too. They're going to get a good visual of they're going to daughter. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
Cute. So we're all going down in infamy.
Oh, that's really cute.
Whatever. I know.
I want to get to Boise too. Okay, sorry, I'll let you. Sorry.
No. I just want to say, because then we're gonna reel this in for now. But let's do it again. Let's do it every month. Let's do it once a month. Actually,
check in, see what's going on
in 30 days. But will you let me know the next time you're doing your one person, your solo workshop?
Oh, yes, for sure. In fact, I think the next one may do a Zoom version, but then it's so much more fun in person.
I know.
Because we've been having like a final class performance, and that's been really fun. To do a class where you're going to be getting up and doing it is like the best. Maybe
it could be a Zoom hybrid because I'm here and.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do too, is have it where you could come out and do your final show here.
Yeah. So count.
Good idea, making shit happen.
Lauren Weedman, everybody. Lauren Weedman, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I like chatting. You're a good person to talk to. And I didn't know I was going to get advice. It's great.
Well, you're welcome. Well deserved. And I do. I think you're incredible. I think you are as good as Jean Smart. Like you hold your own on that show and every other
Hold
thing that
my
you've done.
own.
So I want you to just know that. Like it's about just maybe just channel Jean Smart for the next 30 days while you're like in your deserving bath.
Yeah. Well, I'm
See,
like, I just need a car key that works in my car.
right.
Very Gene
And a
Smart.
dishwasher.
A
Somebody
dishwasher.
send
Who do you
this
got?
lady a dishwasher.
Right? I know. I'll just keep saying that eventually.
And then
I'll
yeah,
get my own damn dishwasher.
that's right.
Okay. All right. Okay,
Okay.
goodbye.
Bye.